Controlled chaos. This was what the people of ancient times referred to the world as. A place where chaos was a caged animal that was bound only to the dimensions of this world, where everyone had a say in unleashing the beast that was chaos and destruction, and unfurling the quilt of craze, where insanity was a poison that all could drink, but few knew of its existence. The world of this time was a place of destruction, where the air smelled of death and the hands of the people tasted of ash, where the sight of your eyes was a graveyard, and nightmares could not compare to the harsh realities of this world, when hell was a blessing and life a curse. Controlled chaos. Inside of our own bodies, we were destroying the very fibers of our being, as our lies tore holes in the bottom of our essence. Our mistakes surmounted like bodies in the ditches of our soul, where on the inside we would bleed and suffocate, be plagued and broken, where we would be ripped apart limb by limb, begging for death. And then, when we saw those wrought iron gates of hell, and our limp body crawled toward them in an effort to be saved from the woes of mistakes and be granted a place in a realm where pain was always there, but unlike this, it was tolerable. Controlled chaos. From the outside we would smile as we walked on the surface of fire, as the soles of our feet burned off and we melted like decrepit snowmen. On our last limb we would hesitate to pray for death, but not once think of taking our own lives. It was a time when the world was in need of one of those so-called heroes, who would sweep in on a white stallion and whisk away the darkness of existence. This hero we called death. Controlled chaos, like life and pain. He never arrived soon enough, but we were always glad when he did, to deliver us from our pain. Why we would not take our own lives some may find odd, but to us life was our punishment for the sins of past lives. Sins we were never allowed to know of. The ones who committed the worst were the elderly. Years of torture. Those who committed the most leisurely were infants, or those who died at birth. Ah, during my youth, how I envied their relief. Controlled chaos. The tiger that never bites you, but you must remain in the same room with him your whole life. And you know the bite is coming, and you live in fear your whole life, and the pain hurts less than the fear. When the fangs of the beast give you nightmares, and you feel his breath hovering over your body, and your eyes slam shut, happy and scared, and it backs off, toying with you, tasting and enjoying your fear as its stomach longs for food, but heart longs for fear. Controlled chaos. It was not only a state of mind or power, not controlled by a hierarchy of power. All were subjected to its pain and sting, and still they continued to conceive. What fools my ancestors were, giving birth to a baby on a battlefield, and dropping him into a world of something that causes him to go hoarse from the screaming, because no one will hear, and no one will care. We cry because we want attention, and when no one is around, no matter how much pain we are in, what good does it do? Controlled chaos. It was the world my ancestors grew up in. My mother had me with tears on her face, crying out in pain from her heart, as my father thought of ways to reduce my pain and anguish. And here I stand, the product of a new civilization, where I have no family left, aside from my father's father and my mother's father. And I wonder if in this new world that I have seen a small part of, will the pain be greater than that of my ancestors? I am a scale, a person imbued with forces meant to change the world of controlled chaos which my grandparents lived in, and worked so hard to change and make better for future generations. find a side from me whose destination brought about peace to this world. I am a member of the scales, and now the world seeks to go back into controlled chaos, not on whims, but by the influence of one whose thirst for pain supersedes that of the collective. I am a member, the only member of the scales that remains, and I have no problem offering my life to save the world, or taking his. Thanks for listening.